homies. What the hell? Oh, man. It just was not there. And all the hype, all of the last week, getting back into it, feeling good, I'm sitting here thinking, like, not what is it for? I know the effort's good. I know it's worth putting in as much as I can. I'm sitting here like, what is wrong with me? Most of the reps just didn't feel good today. It just felt like the technique was there. Something wasn't sticking, you know? It's always just those weird days where it's like, I can't put my finger on it, but something's definitely not right. And I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, well, my typical issues include getting injured, going too heavy, and not learning to chill out, which is, good that I recognize said things, as always. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, well, if all of these things aren't happening, because technique was there, I felt fine, there was no pain, like I've been saying, it's the first time in forever I've had zero pain in my body. What is wrong? What have I messed up? And it's so funny, but sometimes you got to just kind of chill out, because I sat there and decided to go on a bit of a lighter day, because I did 225, and I just immediately knew, like, that was so slow. I knew it just was not going to be where I needed it to be. And I was like, all right, well, if that's not hitting, we're going to attempt 235 and just see what happens. Because last week I was doing really well. Like, you guys saw it. I started the week really slow and built it back up again, getting to some 235 accessories, or the 225 slow tempo power clean, or power snatch, sorry. And I'm just like, if I can do all these weights, then what's wrong? And it's kind of learning that I've started adapting to an old mindset that doesn't work. I used to always tell myself, well, if I hit this, this, and this, then I should be able to do this. And especially in Olympic lifting and all of weightlifting, to generalize it, that's just never how it is. You are never always going to feel a certain way, no matter what weights you hit, that you think you deserve to move on to in the next step. Just because I hit great accessory work last week at the same weight that I tried today does not mean that I was going to just be able to do some new stuff that I haven't felt in a while, And the biggest thing about this is that everything feels fine. The techniques is there, the overall physical wellness is there, and I'm like, it's the first time in about a year where, because I'm not injured and everything's feeling good, it's kind of the first time where the only issue I have currently is that I'm simply just weak, And obviously I'm not weak in general. I know that I'm strong. I know I've put in the effort to earn my strength. And no matter how much less weight I have to pack on some days, doesn't mean that I'm not still strong. But, regardless of all the factors of, my shoulder just recovered. I changed up the bench form last session, and that put a lot of strain on my shoulders strength-wise. I haven't done progressive overload in a long time. I've lost some weight, but there's a million factors that could make you feel like you should be stronger, but it's okay that you're not. The biggest thing is that it's finally at a point where I need to rebuild my experience, reset the standard of what it means for me to be strong at my new level. I've spent so long, all the way back when my left quad tendon got injured the first time, almost a year ago now. That's when all this started, all of the injuries and all of the back and forth, trying to figure out my technique and really learn from it, which has been great. It's the best experience I could have asked for. It's what I needed to go through in order to learn and get to that next step. However, the constant, fuck around, find out programs, the feel it out, the hardest accessories I can imagine, they're fun. They get the passion going. They can be good sometimes. But it's something that I've been doing all of the time for months and months and months, because every time I hit a hard corner, I decide, let's keep the intensity as high as it can go and do the even harder technique, and let's see if it progresses over. And again, for a time, it's good to mess around. If you're hitting a block in either strength or passion, doesn't matter. Doing something a little different can get anybody out of a rut. It's good for you to try something new. But right now, it's not boring for me, but the seemingly boring, straightforward progressive overload is currently a new experience for me, because I haven't done a strict progressive overload program in a year. successfully, you know? Back when I was really on it, because I did the progressive overload for over a year before my quad tendon got injured, and I didn't plateau once. And I was at the point where, like, that was the first time I hit 3 plates on clean and jerk. I hit 255 on snatch for the first time, which my Olympic lifts thankfully haven't decreased in strength at all, but the constant lack of volume and lack of just hitting the main lifts overall have made it to where my bench and my squat, my front squat and overhead squat especially, have diminished. You know, I was hitting 455 for a double on back squat, 375 for a double on front squat, 285 for a double on overhead squat. You know, I was hitting near 345 for a double on bench. Yet I can't barely hit those now for singles. You know, it doesn't make sense. And it's purely the experience behind it. I have not given myself any chance to reallocate that volume into my fatigue, you know? I've been so used to battling my technique and my injuries that I haven't had a chance to battle my overall strength, which, to be clear, is a fantastic issue to have. The fact that the only thing I'm worried about right now is getting stronger is amazing, because it just shows how much room I have to grow. It shows how much room I have to mess around without overdoing it. You know, I have all this new experience, all this new knowledge over my own personal body when it comes to how well it works with what programs and what lifts and what I need to be doing. I know exactly what I need to be doing and where I need to be. It's just setting the standard this first week, getting back into it, you know, doing a true deload, because that's what this week's going to be. That's why I didn't do a 3x5 on overhead squat or a 3x3 on snatch pull. You know, like when I failed 235 on snatch, I instantly knew it was not going to be where I needed it to be. I've decreased the weight in the program I wrote out so many months ago when I was peaking. I put it down 10 pounds just to make sure I can restart at a good rate. And this week will just be a deload where I'll do a single at whatever decreased weight I was planning on doing for Olympic lifts, since I only do one top set for Olympic lifting. And then I'll do a just one set of 5 instead of 3 sets of 5 at whatever weight I was supposed to do for my power lifts, to just get used to the volume again, get used to the normal lifting, instead of just, because I've been doing so many top heavy singles for hard technique that I don't have the background strength, you know, the stability to back up what I'm trying to throw now. So I'll do a quick deload this week, just really chill stuff. Same percentage scheme as the normal program's going to be, just a little bit less set volume or rep volume. And then next week, I'll jump back on what I tried to do today. So it'll be like the 235 triple, 245, 3x5, and 335, 3x3 for the snatch, overhead squat, and snatch pull, so that I can actually start at a ground zero, you know? And again, the fact that those weights are my ground zero now are a great thing, you know? Even though I hit 235 for a triple for the first time back at April of 2024, does not mean that that's less impressive now, you know? I think I'm lighter than I used to be back then. My form's never been better. You know, my knowledge and my experience has never been better. It's just getting the reps in and the volume in and the conditioning to where after so many weeks, I'll finally get back to that point where I feel like I can grow. And that's where the progressive overload truly starts, you know? People misunderstand a lot. When it comes to a true progressive overload, you know, a consistent, slow increase in your pyramid style of training, that first week, that first month back is never the start, truly. That's you setting up the base of your pyramid, you know, the base of your strength for the upcoming gains you're going to try to build, you know? Because the way that it works is when you get to that next overall peak, when you look at it as like a triangle or a pyramid, that base needs to be as wide as possible in order to support the heaviest weights at the tip of the top. You know, if the triangle is damn near a rectangle because of how small the base is, with me just doing top heavy singles, the base is tiny right now. So I can't do anything when it comes to anything near a peak. So it just needs to come down to a point of, we do the reps, we do the volume, and at some point it will get to the point where I don't have to worry about it anymore. You know, I haven't really decided yet, but I might start doing, no, I won't even worry about it right now. I don't want to make any rash decisions in this moment, because today I'm weak. Today we learned this week is a deload. I've decided on that. I will figure out what to do next next week when I try the progressive overload again at lower weights, because it doesn't matter if it takes a month, 6 months, a year to get back to a point where I can start gaining strength again. As long as I can continue making my own relative progress to myself, that is a win every time. You know, it doesn't matter that even though I want to hit 275 snatch and 345, 335 clean and jerk right now, doesn't mean that it has to happen. You know, that's not why I'm here. I just want to be better. I want to better myself. I want to stay positive and just uplift the efforts I'm putting in, you know, and give myself that general purpose that makes me want to come back and do it again next time. All in all, after that initial step of making the base for the pyramid, we will come back, and that's where you can start the incline, you know, the steps up, because you'll know when you're ready. Today I was destroyed strength-wise, but it's going to come. I promise you. When it comes, you know, when I get in tomorrow, this week is going to be a lot of quick workouts without a whole lot of stress, and that's a great thing. You know, people always want to get upset, including myself. You know, it originally, in the first place, it feels stupid. It feels upsetting to have to go light for a week and do these quick workouts where it feels like I'm not doing anything. But I'm telling you, man, you never realize how much you needed a break, you know, needed a deload, a recovery, whatever you want to call it, until you let it go. And when you let it go, you cannot go back. All you can do is either reset and rebuild it back up, or commit to the hard shit and eventually injure yourself. And I choose the latter. I am not going to injure myself again. I'm going to do better. And so, even though it's not what I want, it's not exactly where I want to be right now, it's where I deserve to be. And it's where I need to allocate my efforts, you know, and accept that this is my current 100%. It feels pitiful, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's good to feel weak in the short term so that in the long term I can rebuild it back up in the way that I want to, you know? I'm at a point where technique-wise, I don't really need the accessory work. It was just a way to increase the passion while my injuries were waiting to recover. You know, I took the knee sleeves off. Everything's feeling better. My shoulder's better. Everything's never been this good before. So I need to give it the time it really, you know, requires so that I can get to that next step at the most comfortable rate possible and increase strength at the rates that my body knows it can do rather than what I hope it can do. Physically, even though it wasn't great, I'll tell you, that last set of overhead squat, I nearly died. And I took the weight down. I thought I was going to be fine, but it's just the conditioning that needs to be there. I didn't feel great. Physically, it's like, this is a flat 7 kind of day. A very, very average, very, you know, we hit the marks, but they weren't anywhere near what we wanted or tried to expect or have hopes for, but we did good by doing the bare minimum. And it's going to be what makes me have way better days throughout this upcoming week so that I can get better in the next progressive overload. But mentally, even though it wasn't what I wanted and it was unfortunate in the moment, it's kind of funny. The moment I failed 235, I was just kind of relieved because I knew coming in that I haven't felt that strong lately, that I haven't felt that deserving of anything new when it comes to weights. And, you know, I wanted to get back on the strength program really badly, and that eagerness definitely took a toll with where I should have been, but it doesn't matter. Because shoulda, coulda, woulda, I don't give a shit. I care about doing what I want in the moment and learning from it. So today, we learned, as we always do. Tomorrow and the rest of the week, I'm going to just chill out, have fun. It'll be nice to have just a chill week for once. You know, I can wake up a little bit later, do the lifts at my own time, have more time back at home with the girlfriend and whatever else I'm doing. It'll be nice. I'll allocate my passions into other things in the meantime so that I can come back and go harder on the lifts when I feel like I've actually put in the effort to deserve it. Well, one way or another, mentally, I still had a great time. Homies were there, all supportive. I did good by uplifting myself, getting through the lifts, doing the best that I could according to the strength that I had today. And I promise you it's going to come back. This light initial stage is going to be so necessary when I'm throwing up weights you've never seen me put up before, that I never dreamed of putting up. But I guarantee you, the slower I start myself off, the faster the weight's going to come in the long run. You know, it's going to be insane how quickly I make progress. I just don't know it yet, and you just don't know it yet because you have to sit there and be patient and wait a little bit. So it's going to be a couple months until that might happen, but that's okay. That's the whole point of a progressive overload. Wide base, narrow tip, but all the same efforts and the passions nonetheless. And I keep forgetting to say it, but mentally, I'm feeling at a solid 8.25. Really good day, one way or another. I felt good. I'm glad that I took a chill, but we'll be back, you know? I'm just excited to get back in tomorrow, really take it easy, focus on the technique and the recovery and the deload so that everything can build up the way it's supposed to, you know? I have enough experience and knowledge to know that this is what needs to happen. I almost put on 245 after hitting 225, but I sat there and I was just like, the fact that I doubted it the moment I hit 225 meant that even 235 would have been scary to attempt. So, one way or another, we're getting back into it. That's what matters. We will be back. We will do better, and it's going to come eventually. I just got to be patient. I appreciate you guys hanging out, hearing me ramble as we do. You know, take this perspective to yourself, you know? Everybody thinks they need to be at a certain strength at a certain time. I haven't really made gains in a year, and I still feel like I'm the best lifter I've ever been, you know? So take everything with a grain of salt, you know? Move in your own direction. Try the best you can in the current moment, and accept that whatever you did in the past or whatever you hope to do in the future doesn't exactly matter to the weights you're doing right now. Just do the best you can with what you have in this moment, and then dream after, you know? Because now that I've done the work, I can sit here and say, okay, the dreams are no longer hitting a new progressive overload peak this week. It is now hitting the best deload I've ever hit in my life, because I can't remember the last time I've done a true deload that wasn't forced by an injury. So I will be back tomorrow. It'll be light clean and jerks and, you know, what would have been heavy back squats. But again, it's going to be 10 pounds lower than what I originally wrote out. So it'll be like 375 for a set of 5. Nothing crazy. Just for one set, and then just one single rep at... Honestly, it probably won't be any heavier than like 250, maybe 245. I don't know. But it'll be there one way or another. I love you guys. I'll be back. Let me know how the lives and lists have been going. Bye.